Time for another sports take here on OSC Sports Network. Another year, another collapse by the Washington Capitals. I guess it's remarkable that they even made it to the second round of the 2015 NHL playoffs, because in the first round, the Capitals split the first two games with the New York Islanders before dropping Game 3 in overtime on Long Island. And Game 4 again went into OT, and you just felt that perhaps the Capitals would just lose again and basically be finished right there and then. And after all, the Capitals are known for losing playoff overtime games to the Islanders, including 3 in a row in the 1993 playoff series. The Capitals also dropped that quadruple overtime game in 1987 to the Islanders in Game 7. So history was not on the Capitals' side, but they beat the Islanders 2-1 on Nicholas Backstrom's overtime winner midway through the first OT period, and went on to take that series in 7 games. And you would think after that the Capitals would just keep rolling, and especially after they took a 3-1 series lead in the second round over the New York Rangers. You figured Washington was, for real, until they lost Game 5 at Madison Square Garden in overtime and Game 7 in New York also in extra time. Now the loss became the 6th time the Capitals blew a 3-1 series lead, the most among NHL teams. Now, yes, the Capitals outplayed the Rangers and should have won Game 7, but they didn't. So again, it's becoming a regular theme for the Capitals, and they just can't win the big game. So first it was the Penguins and the Islanders in the 1980s and 1990s, and now to the Rangers in 2015. Another team that's snake-bitten or can't win in the playoffs would be the Calgary Flames, and they again lost the deciding game of a playoff series in overtime. Yes, they were the underdogs against the Ducks, but again, throughout their history, whenever the Flames were the more dominant team, they always seemingly lost to the underdogs. In 1990, the Flames were the second best team overall, and yet they lost in the first round in 6 games to the Kings, losing the final game on Mike Krushenowski's goal that fluttered over the glove of Mike Vernon. 1 year later, it was the Flames losing in overtime in Game 7 to Edmonton in the first round. In 1994, they lost Game 7 in overtime to Pavel Bure and the Canucks. In 1995, they lost Game 7 in double overtime to the San Jose Sharks. Now, all of those series they were favored to win, and those 7th games took place at the Saddledome. In 1996, they were swept by Chicago in the first round, losing the final game in overtime. It's like the Calgary Flames have a history or curse. They always lose the elimination game in OT. Now, other teams or players who can't get it done come playoff time, would be the St. Louis Blues for one, who lost to Minnesota in 6 games in the first round. And speaking of the Blues, same with their ex-goalie Ryan Miller, who was in goal for Vancouver when the Canucks were eliminated in round number 1. So some teams just can't seem to get it done in playoffs, and every year you see Washington finding ways to lose, and to a lesser degree teams like St. Louis and Calgary. I guess we'll see the same again next year, and the next one as well. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again next time.